Hey everybody, it's Jesse, and happy Monday. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a nice break from coding this weekend, so I don't think I did any coding at all, except I helped my wife with some coding. So she just started freeCodeCamp. But other than that, I had a good break. My oldest daughter just turned 6. Well, she's gonna turn 6 in a few days, but we had her party on Sunday. So I'm all rested up, and today I've been working on adding some security to our file uploads. So the first thing I was trying to do was just to add a whitelist for file types. So it's pretty predictable what gets uploaded. I already can see what everyone has uploaded over the last year, I guess. So I think a whitelist would probably be the best way to go. And I could probably add in some more things after that, like limit the file size, the number of files. But when I was trying to do that, I did all this research, try to figure out the best way to do it, and then I couldn't get the server. So we had one version of this site that was running on port 9000, and I couldn't get it to work. And so now I'm going back through pull requests to see what has changed since the last time that I had that working. So I'll show you what kind of errors I'm getting and see maybe one of you have had a similar error before and can point me in the right direction here. Hey everyone, I just checked the live chat. How's it going? So the editor is actually Atom. So it's the Atom editor from GitHub with the Seti theme. Alright, so let me show you the errors. So this is what I'm getting. I'll make it a little bigger. I'm getting these errors. There are some things on Stack Overflow and an issue on the Create React App GitHub repo that's people are having similar errors. So I'm just gonna trying to troubleshoot that. So the stream is started right in the middle of me doing the troubleshooting. This is what I found. So, oops. So someone had a similar issue, and after going back and forth a bit trying to figure out what the issue was, this fixed it for them. So in their package JSON, they had their home page listed, and I thought, hey, we did have our home page changed it at one point. So you could see on our package JSON, we have this as the home page, and that was to get GitHub pages working. So I thought, okay, maybe it's that. So I took out the home page, and that didn't fix it. I tried adding the home page in here, like it's been done here, and that didn't work. So now my next idea is, basically I just want to see what all has changed. Can I just take out some things and test it? So I'm looking back into, I guess this was the commit. Let me bring this over. This is the commit where we added GitHub pages support, and so the only file changed basically is a package JSON. So it shouldn't make a difference that we have these dependencies at all. The only thing that changed that would actually make any difference at all would be this homepage thing, and if we change yeah, this should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm kind of at a point where I guess I need to do some more research. I'm a little bit stuck here. So unless someone has some ideas, I'll probably just switch back to the main branch. So I luckily started doing this on another branch because well, for number one, it's good practice to do new things on another branch, but I suspected that I might have something like this happen where I get stuck, and so I'm just going to switch back to the master branch and work on some other stuff, because for the live stream, me reading through GitHub issues is not going to be very exciting. Not that my streams are supposed to be exciting or are exciting, but definitely don't want to watch me read. So I'm going to move these over to my other screen and work on them later. And let's pull over this, and so you can see it's on the branch file type check. And I should probably push that to GitHub in case anyone wants to look at it. So let me see. Okay, that's good. That's what should be changed. Git add. So I'm just committing this. I'm adding the files and I'm committing it to our Git repo. And I'm at a commit message. And basically all I did was install a package called file type that reads a stream of your file coming in, and it reads enough of it to give you the file type. And that was about as far as I got, and I set up in the server.js file just to console log the file type, just to test to make sure it was working. And at that point, that's when I realized that I needed to fix whatever was going on with the server not being able to run. Okay, so let's go. There we go. So now that's on GitHub. You can check out the little bit that I did do if you like. And now we're back on the master branch. So we should be able to just continue on and do some other things and then come back to that later on after I do some more research. I'm going to bring over my Pomodoro timer. And okay, cool. So Patrick is testing this. So thanks, Patrick. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to start my timer and do some stuff. I'm going to start the timer. We'll check my Trello board and see what we can do. Okay, so actually I think I spent 4 Pomodoro sessions on this today already. Alright, so let's see what we need. Form submit button. Okay, let's do this, because this will let me, this will be a good way to introduce some of the changes from the last pull request as well. So Matt submitted a pull request with some good stuff in it. It was pull request 52 if you want to check out everything that changed. Some of the things that changed include using so setting state outside of the constructor. We had a big kind of discussion and talking about what the best practices were for that. And so basically the conclusion is that it's okay to do that. It's syntactic sugar. You definitely need Babel, which if you're writing stuff with React, you're running that anyway. So you just need to be able to have, so this is what we're talking about, just setting state like this, at least initially, right? We're still going to use set state, anywhere down here, which is what you should do. But at least initially, instead of doing the constructor, we can do it like this. So almost everywhere this is then changed back to using this method, which is a bit shorter, a little bit cleaner. I'm trying to think. I can't remember all the other changes as well, but that was one of the main changes, was to change these back. And also one of the other big changes, and the one that we're going to work on right now on kind of improving even more, is this card. So what Matt had done, so what I had done previously was I wrapped this card in the paper component, and I gave it a Z depth. So in MaterialUI, you can give an item a paper component depth. What I mean by depth, in case you're not familiar with how this works in material design, is, let me pull this over. Alright, so let me think we have this. Okay, so on the posters page, you can see each one of these cards has, an apparent depth because of the shadow. And then when I hover over it, right, the depth changes, or it changes apparently. It seems as if the hovered card is closer than these other cards. So that's what I mean by Z depth, as in like the Z coordinate, if we're talking like XYZ. So this is how you set the depth on the paper component. So you can't do Z depth on card. That's why I wrapped it in paper. So I took away the box shadow from the card so I wouldn't have double shadows. Wrapped it in the paper component, set the Z depth, and I was checking for when the mouse was going in and out, and I was changing the state. So the state of depth, and actually this isn't the new stuff. Actually, well, this isn't bad how this is right now, because this will show you what we were doing, and now it's changed. So you can see I was just changing it from depth 1 to depth 2, but there was some weird stuff going on. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, so I'm not sure why that didn't update. Sometimes when I pull things in, it doesn't auto update in Atom. I have to close it and open it again. So let's try that. Oh, okay. It looks like Matt didn't remove these. Possibly, maybe he wasn't sure if I wanted to keep these or go back to it. So he did remove the onmouseover and onmouseout from the actual component. So it used to be on this paper component here. Okay, so that's nice. It is kind of nice though that we can see it side by side. So instead of doing this, Matt made a class, and where did he put this? I think he put it on in the poster CSS file, or the SAS file. Yeah, okay. So he just uses CSS hover, and he added that onto this div. So he wrapped everything in another div, gave it a height of 100%, and then is adding this class name of, yeah, is it fix height? Let me see. Sorry, I'm just I'm checking this out again. Yeah, the fix height just does the 100% height. So basically what I want to do now is, I think we can remove this paper element. We can probably remove this div and just apply the styles directly to the card. We may need to keep one div actually, but we for sure we can remove the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the paper now because we will not need that. So let's remove that, and we can get rid of paper here. And now we can check this out just to verify. Whoa. I thought we could remove paper. Oh, now I know what's happening. Okay, so the paper was where we were getting the initial state from, which is fine. We don't need that because we could just take this off of the card. Alright, we take that off the card, and why isn't the card? We need to add the I guess we could add fix height. Yeah. Okay, so that gives us pretty much the same effect, but it's not exactly what I want. So let me pull in. So hopefully you'll be able to see the comparison. So this is on Materialize, and this is how their effect works, and we'll compare that to what's going on here. So there's definitely a difference. There's a difference in the shadow, and it seems in the transition. It seems like the transition is just slightly slower here. The shadow is longer, not quite as dark. This one is shorter and more dark. So I want to switch this to use the shadow, more like this on hover. Okay, so as far as I know, Materialize doesn't have just a class, a hover class. Or I'm sorry, MaterialUI doesn't have just a hover class. It's possible that I missed it, but in looking through the documentation for cards, there wasn't an option just to make the card hoverable. So in Materialize there is. So I'm just going to import the styles from Materialize and apply them to these cards. Okay. Alright, so I just checked the live chat quickly and have some more info about the error. Okay, thanks. So Matt has some input as well. So Patrick, it was working on port 3000. It was port 9000 that I couldn't get. It just came up with a blank page and had some errors. Alright, so let's just change the hover a bit and possibly see if we can even get rid of this other div and just slim things down just a bit. So what I was thinking initially was I could just get rid of this and set the styles for the box shadow to none like I had before. The problem is I'd either have to do it inline. In that case, anything I do here wouldn't work. It would get canceled out by this, or I could do it here and then put important, which I'm going to try to do, but I vaguely remember trying this before, and if you're using important, the hover style just got automatically applied. It was kind of odd. I'm going to try it again, but maybe I'm remembering wrong and it'll work, but that's the plan. So basically we're going to use this hoverable class, but we're going to bring in the base card shadow from Materialize and also the transition. So basically everything that they use in Materialize for their card hover, we're going to bring that in as well, and we're just going to try to override what's going on here. So I think I have the code from Materialize. Yep. Since we've been borrowing so heavily from Materialize, I just leave their repo open. So we have C cards. Okay, so it's not in this one. Let's go back to components. I don't remember which one I was on before. Variables, okay. We'll try out cards. Box shadow. Okay, Z depth, which I figured Z depth would be in variables, but maybe it has its own. No, it doesn't. Guess I'll try again. Maybe I Z depth. No, it's not there. It's probably in global. There we go. Okay, so we want to grab this. I guess I'll just grab the whole thing, like, since we're using Sass anyway, we'll put it in that format. Okay. And the initial card, let's see. Z depth 1. Okay. Okay, and I don't think we'll need this extend. We'll see. We'll leave it in for now. So Z depth 1 and alright, so we need to put in, let's try it, we'll try it taking this out first. Like I said, hopefully we can make it work like that, and then it would just make the component a bit smaller. Let's see, where's my class? I'm not sure what classes I'm already passing in. I guess I don't think I'm even using this anywhere to have the classes here. Oh well. Let me check. I'm gonna check my time. Okay, we have 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, I'm gonna go to the live chat and catch up on everything that's going on. So if you're asking me questions or anything, I'm not ignoring you, at least forever. Okay, well let me check just to make sure. Okay. So good so far. Let's take out. Let's give this. at least for testing. Let's just call this card. Oops. Card, and oops, what am I doing? Let's give it C depth 1 and hoverable. Actually, class is hoverable, so let's go. Actually, how do I add? What's the best way to add in classes that I'm hard coding, but then also be able to put in some classes as well? So obviously I need to say classes, but then I want to add in these. Can I? JavaScript. This can be an object. I don't think I can do that. We'll see. Find out. Alright, so it didn't do what I wanted it to do, but let's see what classes end up on here. Undefined card, C depth 1. Okay. Oh, okay. So Matt's saying use template literal syntax. Okay, cool. I like template literal syntax anyway. There you go. Whoops. So I know we've gone over template literal syntax a bunch of times, but in case you didn't see any of that, or you're not familiar with it, let me just explain it, since it's not like old school JavaScript, I guess. So this is not ES5, this is ES6 stuff. So when we use backticks instead of double quotes or single quotes, this is a string that you can do JavaScript inside of. So if you want to do JavaScript, you just put $, curly bracket, and then anything inside these brackets is treated as JavaScript. So this classes is not a string, it's a variable. So it'll pull in whatever the value of classes is, and then everything else is a string. Other cool things we can do with it are like this works. You can have spaces and stuff in between. So really cool, very useful, way better than having to put a bunch of plus signs and lots of quotes. So anyway, thanks, Matt. So this should say, yeah, so now this is spaced out, although it does say undefined, and I don't want it to say undefined. So what am I doing wrong? Oh, I never changed that. Wait, no, I don't need to change that. What am I thinking? Yeah, so I'm pulling in, should be pulling in classes. Oh well. My timer's up, so let me take 5 minutes and go through the live chat. Not a whole lot in the live chat yet, so shouldn't take too long. May not even use up the whole 5 minutes. So we have Air Drifter says hi from San Diego. Awesome. Welcome. And thanks for joining in the live chat. Okay, so update on the port 9000 error. So Patrick was able to recreate that error. Yeah, it's a cryptic error. Yeah, the error just doesn't, it's not super helpful. Okay, well at least I guess I feel better that you can duplicate the error and it's not just something on my machine. Sebastian Xavier says, I think coding is cool. I just started learning HTML and a little bit of JavaScript. I took a week-long class too. That's awesome, and welcome to coding. Yeah, so hopefully you're able to follow at least some of what we're doing. So I know now if you're just you're doing a little bit of JavaScript, you may not figure out everything that's going on here, but little things like template literal syntax, that'll be kind of a cool some cool syntax that'll save you some time. That you might not get in maybe like beginning JavaScript courses. Okay, so Matt's given some advice as well on this. Okay, so did I have... So I guess what was this before? Class name. Anyway. Cool. Okay. So Sebastian Xavier says, "I know the basics." Yeah. So anyway, so hopefully it's you can follow along with some of it. Depending on what I'm doing for one of these, it may be more beginner friendly. We were doing everything we need to do to build a whole site. So some of them will be really basic, and some streams will be a little bit more advanced. I have this on. Alright, so I am through with everything in the live chat for now, early, which that's crazy. Normally I always go over. And so I am going to reset my timer to 25 minutes. So I'm going to do at least one more 25-minute session, and then we'll see how much is in the live chat. I don't think I'm going to do a third one. We'll see. I do want to make sure that I get out of here in enough time to take my son to his karate class, so may wrap things up a bit earlier. We'll still definitely have an hour-long stream today, though. Alright, so on my other screen, I'm going to bring up I'm going to bring up what that generic card component was, since I've changed it, and I don't want to undo everything just to see what I changed. So let's see. Because I think I changed some stuff that I shouldn't, and that's why I'm having some problems. Okay, so I actually did have So initially I think it was like this, and that's where I was pulling it in. So I never really needed to change these. Well, I guess it didn't really matter. So, but originally on the outermost div, this is what was being pulled in. I always did have classes here to just pass down the classes right to the card component. But this makes sense to do it like this. So let's see. Alright, cool. So now we are getting hoverable, which is what we want. Cards, edepth. Okay, great. So now let's make this work. Why isn't this working? What did I do? Alright, so I'm going to try this. This is going to look terrible at first. Alright, so I'm just going to confirm that this is working. Yeah, okay. That works. Great. Now, oops. Let's see if this works. Yep. Alright, great. So, whatever I was worried about at the beginning, I don't know what I was thinking, but this definitely does work. Great. Alright, so now we can see it's definitely a different effect. Okay, so I wanted to switch it up to this for a few reasons, mainly because this is consistent with what I've been doing with all my other sites. So while I do want to use MaterialUI for React sites going forward, probably I'll use the newest version for the next site I do, but I do want the styles to match, because we have some sites that it's going to be a while before they get redone, so I do want to keep it consistent. So in little details like this, it's not really a big deal, especially since there's not a built-in hover mechanism. I think it's okay to go with Materialize and the way they do it. Alright, but I think it looks more smooth. I like how the shadow's a bit more spread out, not so, I don't know, it just seemed abrupt, I guess, that it was so dark underneath here. So anyway, that works. So I'd say that was best case scenario here. So over here we added in a bit more CSS, but the component itself, we were able to get rid of 4 lines in this component, so that's not bad. Also, we can remove this because we no longer need to use that because that was here. So that's 5 lines, and we got rid of our import for paper, so 6 lines. So we removed 6 lines. That's cool. So 6 lines from that component, and we've imported this. Now, what I'd like to do is have this in a different file, right? Because I'm not just going to use this for posters. So I think we should actually all of this should be used. So I think I'm just going to take all of this and I'm going to put it in something that gets loaded up a bit higher. So maybe in our app. Yeah, so these are more I guess like utility classes. So like this v-align, so I'm going to move that up here. I think it makes more sense to be here since cards are so common in material design and we use cards on a lot of different pages. Oops. Okay, so for right now at least, you don't have anything in posters. So let's see. I don't know that I will add any special styles in posters, so I may just get rid of this file completely. Let's get rid of these, and then let's get rid of it. Oops, no, I wasn't importing it there. I was importing it in posters. Actually, now that I think about it, since some of what we're doing applies, does it apply to cards? I guess it doesn't apply to just cards. So we could add, potentially we could add hoverable as a class to anything and make it hoverable. So for a second I thought about making a SAS file for this generic card component and moving the styles into that, but now I'm going to leave it where it is. I can't think of anything right now that I would use hoverable on, but at least in Materialize it is separate and you can use it on more than just cards. So I'll leave it as is for now, and that'll keep us from making more files. So alright, so now all told we've removed 7 lines of code between the 2 of these components. We removed 2 files. We have added a bit onto our app.css file. So let's say not bad. I'm happy with that result. And that took, wow, way less than anticipated. So that's great. So what was that? We spent the first part. I'm going to say 1.5. So I guess not way less. I've forgotten I'd already done one Pomodoro cycle on this before. Okay, but still under the amount of time that I expected. So while we're on this generic card, we may as well go to the home page and add that to some of the home cards. So these two kind of go together, so we'll work on both of these. I'm going to move this over here until I get some more ideas about it. Add icons. I'm not going to try to add the icons right now. I'm still not exactly sure how I want to do that. Okay, so let's go to the home page. I'm going to move this over here and get rid of this. Okay, so here's our home view, and here's where we're bringing in our generic cards, and we want to, instead of doing it like this, we want to do it more like this. So we want to bring in hoverable as well. Actually, and link. All right, so let's have hoverable and link. And actually, let me show you the home page in case you haven't seen it before. So here's our home page right now. So you can see we don't have hover over any of these, and I'm clicking on all of them, and they're not links yet, but they all need to link to something. Okay, so some of them are actually going to go, they're just going to be a file download. So the PowerPoint will be, the brand manual will be, but then these four will link to other places, other views within this site. And this is not the final version of this page, so I realize it's very plain looking, I guess. Alright, so we need to go to where the data is. So this is kind of really nice how this is set up, is because this is all pulling in data and then everything's set up kind of as props to do different things in this component. Converting these cards over is going to be really easy. We just need to change things in the way the data is set up and pulled in, which is really cool. That was our goal from the beginning with this generic card component, was something that could do anything you would want a card to do within reason, just by passing in different props. Alright, so let me see, let's find our data, and I want to pull our poster data up here, and our links data. Yep, this is it. Okay. So we just need to add hoverable true really to everything. So actually these already say link to. So that's, I suppose if we just change this to link, then we should be fine. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. These are the side nav links. So sorry if you hear that noise. It's my phone going off. I don't recognize the number. I'm not going to answer it, but it's on vibrate. There we go. That's what we want. Okay. Yeah, so let's pull in hoverable and also link. I'll just pull both of these in now, just to get them in there. And I guess I want to put them on the bottom. Okay. And let's pull up that links data again, because we can use a lot of this. Service request form. Share a story. Letterhead. And this isn't just posters, this will be logos. Logos, posters. What did I name that page? Logos, posters. I think that's what I had it as. Brand manual. And then the other two, I'll just leave like this for now. I'm not sure where those files are actually going to be. So when I find that out, I can just put the data in. Whoops. Okay. Undefined cards. Okay, what am I not bringing in? Oh, I forgot to actually pass those props. Okay, so card title. Link. Alright. There we go. That works. Great. And let's see. I do want to check. Alright, great. So that is. Wait a second. Did we never make this view? I guess we didn't. I thought I had made put in content for all the views, but I guess I missed one. So I'll make that one. Yeah, this one's really easy. It's just 2 cards. Okay. I actually kind of don't like that you have to click this and then click another spot to go in there. It would be nicer if maybe I just had logos, posters, and you could click to go into one or the other. And then it wouldn't match the rest of the cards unless I had other things down here. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. It's one extra click, and I guess I do get the chance to put more information about the logos and the posters on the second page. The only reason I combined them was because I didn't want one extra hanging down here. But I guess we do have, the tutorial. If I could think of one more thing to put here, the glossary, I guess, then we could have 9. That might work. Let me know what you think about that. Would it be too much instead of 6 to have 9 of them? Split out logos and posters, have the tutorial visible right away, and have the glossary visible. Yeah, that might work. And before, when I had these large icons, that would have been too much. But now, it will definitely fit, and it'll make the page look a bit less dull. Okay. Alright, so about 3.5 minutes left for this Pomodoro session. Since we finished that, so this was, I guess the smallest I can put in is a half, so I'll put in a half for both of these. But really, it took less than a half of a session. If you're not familiar with Pomodoro sessions and things, this is just a way of breaking up your time of working and estimating what you do. So you take a 5-minute break every 25 minutes. After 4 sessions, a 10-minute break. There may be other ways to do that. That's just the way that I learned. And the estimation comes in where you try to estimate beforehand how many Pomodoro sessions it will take to do something, and then after you do it, you put how many it actually did take. Then you can get a good idea of whether, how long projects will take. After you do it for a while, you get pretty good at estimating. So right now, these numbers are pretty close. When I first started doing it, my numbers would be very different. I usually would overestimate. Now I'm a lot better at that, and that's really good. It's good for time management personally, but it's also good if you're freelancing to have an accurate idea of how long projects will take, so that you can figure out pricing. So very, very helpful. It's been very helpful for me to keep me on track. I've been doing this system for over a year now. All right. Oops. And I meant to look at another thing. I don't know that I can get anything else done in 3 minutes. It's probably 2.5 by now. Oops. Actually, we can clean this up a bit. So Matt already did this. So I'm going to just put that in done. Since I have no idea how long it took Matt, and I'm not... I don't want to require contributors to check their time as well. Anything done in a pull request, I'm just going to pull over and put nothing there. So that way I'll know if I see something like this, immediately I'll know I didn't do this. This was from a pull request. Okay, not bad. Getting through a lot of to-dos. I know this list isn't complete. I'm sure there'll be other things I'll see to add to this, but not bad. We cut this about in half from what it was earlier in the day. Okay. Let me... So it's just regular git add, git commit, just like we did earlier. So as soon as that finishes, I'm going to push this to GitHub so that you all have access to everything that we just did. Actually, there was one other thing that I think we could take out now. So I'm pretty sure we're not using hoverable anymore. Yeah, I think we're not using hoverable, and since we're not using all of this, I'll probably remove all this. Let's see. Let's just remove this right now, so I don't forget. So we don't need hoverable, and we don't need it. What was it in posters? So we don't need it here. And we don't need any of this. And since we don't need that, we don't need debounce. Oh, we're getting rid of even more lines. This is great. We don't need this. Oops. MaterializeCSS. Actually, do we need any of this now? I don't think so. Let's get rid of this. I just saw Blake said his fan is loud. I actually don't have my fan on right now. Maybe my computer is loud. Let me. Yeah, for some reason I didn't notice it because I had music playing in my headphones, but yeah, my computer's a bit louder than normal. It's normally pretty quiet. Let's see. I think that's all we can remove. But that's pretty good. And we can also, let's see. That's all I'm going to do right now. I'm thinking, can we change this into functional component? Probably. Alright, so I'll let's see. Oh no, I just changed this, hold on. Alright, so let me go to the live chat and see what's going on. If you aren't familiar with how this stream goes, the end of the stream is saved for question and answer. So we have a little intro, some coding, and then question and answer. Wow, I messed something up. Alright, let's see. And then then we do some code, and then the last part is question and answer. So if you don't want to stick around for the question and answer session, then thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully you can join in again. Otherwise, please put your questions in the live chat now, and I'll just go straight from the top of the live chat and go through all the questions, try to answer as many as I can. If you can't stick around to hear your question answered, you could always catch the recording of this that's available on freeCodeCamp, or you could just ask me some other way, like on Twitter or any social media network where you can find me. Property depth of no. Okay, I must not have gotten rid of everything. 66. Actually, yeah, we did have depth. We were using the Z depth in here, weren't we? Card content. Alright, but I think we can get rid of this safely without without needing it. So let's see. Okay, so that does still work. Great. So hopefully, if anyone notices any bugs with that because of how much was changed, I mean, I certainly didn't test it thoroughly, but everything should work. And alright, so let's see what it says now. Alright, so while that's running, I'm going to try to find some questions. Chris Chung says, can I do this on a Chromebook? You certainly could do this on a Chromebook. You would have to use some type of cloud editor like Cloud9. I can't remember. I've used some other ones before, but I can't remember the name. So if you check out, I think the website c9.io, that would work. Basically, you just need an environment where you can run all the stuff that you need to run. So you need to be able to bring in NPM packages and things like that. So Cloud9 can do that, and there are alternatives. So I have developed on a Chromebook before, and it works basically in the same way, as long as you have a good cloud development environment. Isaiah says, can you get a job with just knowing front end? Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I'm a front end developer right now. I do know a little bit more than front end. I do have to do some back end stuff and DevOps stuff from time to time because we don't have other people to do that here. But there are plenty of jobs for front end developers. If you check out Stack Overflow jobs, you'll see a lot, or really any job. GitHub has their own job thing, but I see a ton of front-end jobs on Stack Overflow. Pretty much every time I'm on there, it shows me front-end jobs. Patrick, I see you told me not to forget the commas. I knew someone had to have seen that in the live chat once I saw it. Andre says, great, when I'm watching this video I can study coding and learn English at the same time. Well, that's awesome. I had never thought that someone could learn English while watching this, but that's cool. Glad it can help in any way. Rohan says, late yet again. Well, at least you made it before it was over this time. Yang John says, hi. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for watching. John Hansen says, Jesse, yes, add more to that dull page. Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay, Blake. Sorry, Blake. Blake had said that my fan was loud, and I commented on it a few minutes ago thinking that he meant my office fan, which I did. I was running, when it got really hot in here earlier in the summer. But he actually did mean my computer fan, so sorry about that. And actually it quieted down now. I can't hear it at all, so I don't know what was going on. I mean, you all saw what I was doing. It's not like I had anything open or closed it, but whatever. occasionally my computer has just been like the fan just kicks into high gear and it's just super loud for a few minutes and then it's okay. Blake says C9.io does require a credit card, but it's refundable and it's either $0 or $1 charge. Said he did it the other day and it was not a problem at all. Yeah, that's true. I always forget that when I started Cloud9, they didn't require a credit card, but then they changed their policy afterwards, and you do need a credit card to sign up. Even if you're just doing their free plan, they just want it. Did Cloud9 get? I kind of think Cloud9 got bought out by somebody, and then the policy switched, but I can't remember exactly what happened with that. Jay Evans asks, "Hey Jesse, what was your time management solution again?" Okay, yeah, I'll go over this time management solution. So basically, it's a Pomodoro technique, and so I have this Pomodoro timer. So it's a 25-minute session, 5-minute breaks. Every 4 sessions, I take a long break of 10 minutes. Okay, so that's the time. This is just tomatotimer.com. That's tomato-timer.com. There's so many Pomodoro timers out there, and in fact, I think it's one of the lessons in FreeCodeCamp to make your own Pomodoro timer. So I'm sure there are thousands, it's probably tens of thousands of Pomodoro timers available out there. But I use that for my timer, and then I have this is just Trello. And it's a free project management solution, and I set things up like this, so it doesn't come set up like this automatically. So I create these cards or these columns of to do, ready for development, in progress, testing, done, and wish list. Wish list is just stuff that I'd like to have that isn't necessary to complete the project, but if I get time, I'll put them in. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory. So when I go to create a new task, I try to break the task down as small as possible, and I create the task, and then I add a number, and that number is how many Pomodoro sessions, so how many 25-minute sessions I think it will take me to complete this. Now, there are other ways of doing this. Some people, I've heard some people do like complexity, so the number doesn't represent time, it represents complexity. So I'm not to that point yet. Maybe I'll switch over to something like that, but for now, this works for me. Now, after I complete this, I would actually put how many points it took. So let's say it only took me 3. I have 3 in there, so now these two numbers get compared. So if I were to move this over here, you can see it tells me, 5 was what I estimated, and 3 is what it really was. And you can see it just adds that up on the top. So I can see very quickly, since it's still in progress, this means I'm not done. So if I look at this, I would say, okay, I need about 3 more sessions to go until I'm done with this column. I can look in here and say, okay, 5 more sessions, I'm done with my entire project, assuming that I already had laid out all the to-dos. And then at the end, I can look and say, it took me this many sessions to complete, or this many sessions to complete. So it was either I was ahead of schedule, either overestimated or underestimated, but I can tell all of that. And on my next project, I can go back in and check and say, okay, well, this took me this long last time, so I would have a good idea how long it's going to take me the next time. So that's how I do it. It's been pretty useful. You definitely have to be consistent with it for it to be useful. But I found that the 5-minute breaks are really nice. Because sometimes it's easy, like if you have, at least for me, when I have a problem I'm working on, like a bug or something, and I can't get it to work, I just get so into it. I'll get buried in documentation and trying to search through things, and it's easy for me to waste hours trying to look into this. But if I take that 5-minute break, it just forces me to take a step back and say, look back at my Trello board, mark another Pomodoro session, and then I can see the big picture again. And that little bit of time, that few minutes, allows me to just think, okay, is this super important? Can I just switch to something else and get something done, and then come back to that when I have a better idea of what I want to do? And sometimes that's the best thing to do at the time. I switch it up, I get some stuff done, I feel a little bit accomplished, and then later on some idea comes to me that I can try. So instead of just spinning my wheels and not getting anything done, I'm way more productive. So it doesn't always work out like that, but it's happened enough that this has definitely been worth it for me, and very useful. So anyway, hopefully that was a decent enough explanation. There is I learned this in a course on Pluralsight. So I had like a free 3-month subscription to Pluralsight at one time, and there was a course on, I think the course was called Agile for One. So it was talking about Agile technique, but in that course it was talking about the Pomodoro technique and Kanban boards, which this is actually not Pomodoro, this is Kanban. So anyway, it was combining several different techniques, and trying to adapt it so that someone who's not on a team could work in a way that's closer to how Agile teams work. I mean, you can't replicate it with one person, but it definitely helped me. Like I said, I've been using it for over a year now, and definitely like it. A little bit more work to set up at the beginning, but it's nice. All right. Let's see. There's a few more comments here, almost to the bottom. Oh, sorry. Jay had a follow-up question about the number system for Trello. So that's actually a Chrome add-on called Scrum for Trello. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Let me check. I'm going to check my extensions. I'm going to check my Chrome extensions quickly to let you know the name of this for sure. Yeah, it's called Scrum for Trello. So it's not a Trello thing that you get in Trello. It's a Chrome add-on, which is kind of cool because the Trello add-ons, I think you can have one now for free, but if you want any more than that, you have to pay. So it doesn't use up one of your Trello add-on slots. All right, so John Hansen says a component that imports multiple components in two components, imported array data comes from two sources, can't see how to make the array get mapped from a variable so I can reuse the components. Okay, let me read this again. All right, so I'm going to read this to myself again. All right, so you have one component that's importing multiple components. All right, so that's fine. So in two components, imported array data comes from two sources. Can't see how to make the array get mapped from a variable so I can reuse the components. Okay. So I guess it would be easier if I could see the code. So if you do have this on GitHub or something, that would be cool. But I would check out. I know that we're mapping over a lot of data in this project. We're doing it, and then the last project we're doing it. Maybe if you check out some of the views where we're importing different components and different data, I know especially in the last project we were importing. Well, I guess we ended up importing it, combining it into one array, but I don't know. Check that out and see if it helps. If not, if you can send me a link, I'll check it out and let you know what I think about it. Maybe I can help. But anyway, I mean, you should be able to use map and go over, unless I'm misunderstanding what's going on, you should be able to, have that array, as a variable and just do .map, something like this, right? So array variable .map, and then you could just put data, and then after that you could have like h1 I mean, you could have something like this, where, I mean, I guess we could do it more like right, so you could map over that data, and so this component, you would be able to reuse this component as much as you want, as long as you have that data available in this parent component. So not sure if that's helpful. Like I said, I could be misunderstanding what's going on, but let me know. Send me the code if you can. Okay, so John said, I just want to import a different array for different views using the same components. Yeah, you should be able to. Where are you importing the arrays from? So are you making API calls, or do these arrays exist like how we have them in these data files? Because I guess that essentially that's kind of what we're doing, right? So, so we're importing an array called poster data into posters.js, and then we're using the card component. We're mapping over the card component, and then, in home.js, we're importing an array called generic card data, and then we're mapping over that data, and we're reusing the generic card component there. Okay. Madi asks, what are you doing? If you mean the project, this is a React project built with Create React App, and it's basically just a way for people at where I work to submit requests to my department through this React site. So it takes file field input, file uploads, and it forwards that onto a project management system. It does a few other things, but that's the main purpose of it. If you meant what was I doing at the time you asked that, I was explaining my time management system right at that moment. Patrick, I just saw that you gave Jay the name Scrum for Trello, so thanks for that. Sorry I didn't see that earlier. Oh, okay. So Patrick says that John could pass in a Boolean flag to decide which data to grab and pass that in as a prop. Yeah. Or Patrick says if you have more than two types, you can pass a type prop. So that could work. I guess, are you I don't know. I really would actually like to see that. So I think this is probably the type of thing that if I or someone else in the live chat could see the code, we'd probably be able to figure it out a lot more quickly. So anyway, if possible, I think we can get it sorted out if we could see it. But I've come to the end of the live chat. So I think I'm going to wrap things up now. Thank you so much for watching and for all your help, especially for those of you who submitted pull requests, helped me out in the live chat, tested things. Really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody asked questions. I love to get questions, and it's really cool if I could help you out in some way. I will be back tomorrow. I think that should be the same time as normal. I don't think I have anything conflicting. So 2 p.m. Eastern time. And hopefully I can get whatever's going on with that server sorted out so that we can go over some file upload security with Node.js. I think that would be cool to do on a stream. But until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.